One day after President Joe Biden announced he is stepping out of the 2024 presidential race, Vice President Kamala Harris is hitting the ground running as the Democratic presidential nominee. Endorsements and support continue to flow in for Harris, including President Biden, the Congressional Black Caucus, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, as well as a number of Democratic lawmakers and governors. Harris's campaign announced that she has already raised $81 million within the last 24 hours. So let's go now to national political correspondent Alex Miller in Wilmington, Delaware, where Vice President Harris just spoke. Alex, I mean, a lot has happened in the past 24 hours. What is the latest?
Well, the latest is Vice President Harris, now candidate Harris, just spoke in the building behind me. This used to be President Biden's campaign headquarters. Now it is going to be switched along with the staff inside of it. They are all going to be on Team Harris now. We heard from a number of people over the course of this afternoon talking about Vice President Harris's accomplishments, even from President Biden himself. He got on the phone, obviously still recovering from COVID-19, saying that he's going to be on the road, that he's not going anywhere. And he said, "I want to say to the team, embrace her. She is the best." He also thanked everybody, saying that he knows that people have worked hard and uprooted their lives for him and that they have really taken care of his family over the last few years of this campaign and the previous one. And then Vice President Harris got up and made a speech. She talked about a variety of issues, but first she talked about the stark contrast between her and the former president. Listen.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his.
She really contrasted herself as a former prosecutor to him, who has faced a ton of legal challenges, not just in this last year, talking about her record on sexual abuse, him being found liable for sexual abuse, talking about Trump University and her prosecuting for-profit colleges, obviously the fraud case that we just saw. All of those things were part of her speech. But then she made a big pivot, talking about how it's not just about the former president. She believes it's about making a new plan for the country, making the middle class the center of her campaign. She talked about Project 2025, but in the context of the economy, about taxes, about health care. She touched on reproductive freedom, many of the things that are going to galvanize the Democratic Party. She was very energized. We are told from the pool that people were crying as President Biden got on the phone, but that you could hear the cheers throughout the entire speech. She said that she wanted to pass the baton because we have many issues, she says, including voting and gun reform. She really tried to hit on a lot of things, but this is really the first day for her of this presidential campaign, and just about 100 days to go until the election.
Yeah, and obviously Harris going for that Democratic, presidential nomination. Does she have any serious challengers at this time?
Yeah, she's not quite the presumptive nominee just yet, but things are falling in line for her right now because we haven't seen any real serious candidates step out and try to contest her. Many of the people who really were considering contesting her are now at the top of her vice presidential list. They are governors from some of the most important states. I'm talking about Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Josh Shapiro, Governor Roy Cooper. There's also rising stars in the party, like Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, Governor Andy Beshear from Kentucky, Governor J.B. Pritzker from Illinois. All of these people are people that she is reportedly considering, but people who could have challenged her. But it was very clear how quickly everyone was coalescing around her last night. And today we're seeing state after state already voting to commit their delegates. We've seen a number of them this afternoon. Texas is going to vote on them in the next hour or so. So it will be interesting to see how quickly this all wraps up. There's a meeting for the DNC Rules Committee on Wednesday, and I think we should have a better idea after that.
National political correspondent Alex Miller in Wilmington, Delaware. Thank you.